Hey y'all, hey, how y'all doing? It's your girl Nelly D on the ones and twos, but never the threes. And I got LOL Probably Drew with me at LOL Probably Drew on IG. Bars.
Thank you, girl. And what kind of co-host would I be if I did not introduce the host of the Nelly Drayton Show? That is Nelly Drayton, also known as at Nelly Drayton across all social media platforms. Please show her some love.
Please do. Greatly appreciated. Thank you so much. You know what I just realized? I never tell you thank you for giving me such a grand call out.
Sweetheart, you don't give me no thanks, baby. No thanks are needed. No thanks are needed. I do it because I love to. No thanks are needed.
Awesome sauce. Well, either way it goes, I like it, love it, and want more of it.
And you will get more of it. Thank you very much.
Period. So I think we're just going to be like Nike and get into it.
Just do it. Okay.
Ooh. I done said it wrong. Oh my God. Can I get a redo?
No, that was good. we had the same adjective, just different routes, baby.
Oh, okay.
Same destination, different roads. It was good. It was good.
Period.
It's okay.
Well, post Nelly, go ahead and put a little swizzle right here because we about to just do it and get into it.
Oh, see, it's been the whole podcast just riffing off each other, but we're going to get right into it. As we said, today we have some very interesting topics to go over. The first topic we're going to go over is something that I don't know is necessarily like a hot topic as of right now, considering it's been a couple of days, but it's a continuation of a conversation we had in our last podcast episode where we were discussing Katy Perry's new track called Woman's World. Now, at the time, we did not watch the video. We saw some clips, we saw snippets, but we did not watch the video. Right before we got on to the episode today, we watched the video, and we have some thoughts to share about the video. Just to recap, briefly, we did discuss with the last episode that we kind of felt like, Katy Perry does not make music for people who look like me and Nelly, and for those who are curious about that, considering we've done a couple of episodes that do not display our faces, we are African American individuals, granted different shades, but definitely black, and proud of that. So we do believe that Katy Perry does not make music for us. However, she has made a new track called Woman's World, which would lead one to believe that would be an anthem for women all around. And that was definitely one of the controversies surrounding the record, was that it's a record that does not lend itself to every woman in the world. We just watched the video, and we're going to share our thoughts. And after we share our thoughts, we will move on to our next topic. Nelly, would you like to kick off?
Yeah, sure, absolutely. I'm here for it. I'm gonna go ahead and kick us off talking about Katy Perry's new music video, Woman's World.
Okay, let me ask you this. Let me do my Diane story moment.
Diane story?
Let me do my Diane story moment. I know, this is a throwback. For those who have been with us from episode 1, this is giving you some nostalgia. So let me ask you this. Did you notice, because we're artists, we're two people who definitely would consider ourselves artists and creative people. Did you notice was there a shift in the message in the video? Did you notice a shift in the message within the video?
Let me follow up with a question to your question.
Okay.
Does it involve colors? No, it does not. I just answered it as soon as I asked.
Okay. All right. Well, there you go. There's the
Are you
answer.
talking about the part where she has on the robotic legs?
Yeah. Partially. Yeah.
And how
So,
she is putting
mhm.
the pump in her butt?
That's not really. I
No.
mean, that is part of it, but so let me preface it with like this. So I noticed in the video, I think the direction that the video was going. Now, mind you, I'm just gonna go ahead and give my opinion. I don't really think the video accomplished what maybe her idea was supposed to be.
Yeah.
As an artistic person, I think I understand what she was trying to do. I just don't think that it was executed well.
Mm-hmm.
So at the beginning of the video, for those who have not seen, or for those who have seen, that you can, have an opinion on this as well. At the beginning of the video, it's very like it's giving what's there's this like image that goes around about the woman with the bandana in her hair, and she's like putting up her arm, flexing her arm. There's that image of like a strong woman. I'm
Yeah.
not quite sure of the history, but I think you know what I'm talking about. That woman with like
Yeah.
bandana in her hair, and she has, I think that's what she was going for. Is like that woman who like wants to work, wants to be independent, and da 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 da. And I think the video started off with like using that image as like a jumping off point. And then I think what she was trying to do is that image got squashed by that anvil. The anvil fell down and it squashed that image. And when she inflated herself, she essentially was creating a new version of that image, like more modern because she had the robotic legs. So I
Yeah.
think I think the imagery was pushing for a modern version of female empowerment. Now, I think I don't know. Watching the first part of that video really upset me because I feel like it was it wasn't progressive. And I hate to say that because it makes me sound like I'm vegan and non-gluten, but it wasn't
Oh
progressive.
gosh.
You know what I'm saying though? Like it wasn't progressive because I feel like, I mean, at one point I had Katy Perry's tits shoved into my face, and I was like, I mean, I'm not gay, or well, I mean, what? I'm not straight.
Yeah.
I'm not straight, but why do I feel some kind of way about someone's tits being put in my face? And it's like, I don't know. I feel like the imagery could have done without that. That made me feel some kind of way because I think I understand what the imagery is supposed to be, and I'm like, but that's just not pushing the message forward when you're shoving your tits in someone's face, because it's like you're using your sexuality as like imagery, and that's literally the antithesis of like female empowerment is having someone's tits in their face. I don't know. I just feel
I
like,
need a bell for that, for when you use words I've never heard before. Ding 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 ding.
oh, the
New
antithesis.
vocabulary word alert. LOL, probably Drew. Could you please be a dear for those such as
Mm,
myself who have been
yes,
sheltered and
yes.
shoved, in the
Uh,
religious
mm-hmm,
lifestyle, and
mm-hmm.
other things did not get to elevate as far as education goes? Could you please be
Okay.
a dear and explain to us what was that word that you just said and what does it mean?
Okay, I would love to do that. So, for those who are writing people, raise your hands. Hello. A thesis is pretty much like the main point when you're writing a
Oh
paper.
no, not
What?
thesis.
Well, I'm building up to that. The,
Okay,
a
sorry.
thesis is in a paper is where you're building up your main point. So if I say the antithesis, that's the antithesis, which is literally the opposite of the main point. So if I'm saying that the main point of Katy Perry's video is female empowerment, the antithesis of female empowerment is her shoving tits in someone's face, because
Period.
that's not female empowerment. Because in my mind, in the way that society is going now, female empowerment is not using your sexuality to push an agenda. So the antithesis of female empowerment is shoving your tits in someone's face. The thesis of female empowerment is not only females are equal to males or are equal to other humans and can do the same thing that other humans can do, they don't have to use their sexuality to achieve that.
Yeah.
That was what that is hopefully that clears up what antithesis means. Antithesis, when you break it down, is antithesis. So it's literally the opposite of a point, opposite of a main point. That makes sense?
Okay.
Did I explain that well?
Yes. Yes.
Okay.
Yes, you did. Thank you so much for that. I think
You're very
that
welcome.
that explanation was perfect.
Ooh, come on, Per.
As far as I have questions. What do you think of the two men kissing scene after she
I'm
inflates
glad you,
herself?
girl. I'm glad you brought that up because to me that is. I'm so glad you brought that up because, well, okay, we are talking about a woman's world. So in a woman's world, two men kissing is the point. Like what? And this is coming from a gay man. Like, maybe in a woman's world, two men kissing is not a problem. But what about in a woman's world, two women kissing isn't a problem? I mean, to me, that is so like. We discussed off camera about pandering. To me, that's pandering. You're pandering to the LGBT community, period. Because what in the world about a woman's world has anything to do with two men kissing? Because why would that not exist in a man's world? Because that could exist in a man's world that's ran by an LGBT man. So, like, what about a woman's world has anything to do with the LGBT community? Because there are women here that are straight that don't care about men kissing. So to me, I think she was just furthering an agenda, an LGBT agenda, because that's what she has pushed for. Her and Lady Gaga. However, I feel like Lady Gaga is way more authentic. I mean, I truly do believe that Katy Perry probably is an ally of the LGBT community, but like I know people had a problem with, Taylor Swift having LGBT propaganda, and this is in quotations, propaganda, in one of her videos. I felt like that was less propaganda. That situation, I mean, literally, it was like 0.5 seconds of two men kissing, and it's like, because in Taylor Swift's video, it wasn't just two men kissing; it was women kissing, men kissing. There was like situations. It wasn't just a blip. So to me, it's like, really? You put a blip of two men kissing for what? So the LGBT community are like, yes, Katie's back. Yes, honey.
Oh my
the house
goodness.
down boots. Like, girl, get out of here, man. She's an ally. I 100% believe Katy Perry's an ally. But doing stuff like that makes it seem like it's performative. That's some performative allyship. Because that has nothing to do. You can make a woman's anthem without it being an LGBT thing.
Yeah.
This was supposed to be a woman's anthem. Why are there was literally no men in that video besides two gay men kissing.
That part is the part that really confused me a lot.
Right. Wouldn't it be more impactful if they like snatched a hammer from a man and like started hammering stuff? Or if she like went up to the gas station and she snatched that pump from a man's car and shoved it up her ass? Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, there are so many other opportunities where she could have made this a woman's anthem, but she included two men in that video, and the two men were kissing. And it's like, I mean, I guess in some way you could interpret that as the only men in a woman's world would be men that are gay, and it's like, okay, I could see that, but even then, it's like that does not ring true as authentic for me. That just rings as performative, because, I mean, if she would have included more, like say she like snatched a jackhammer from a man and he turned over and looked at his partner and then started kissing his partner, that would have been more impactful. That's why I feel like, oh, girl, because to me it's like, because this is why I say I think I understand where she was going with. She just did not execute it well. Is I think her idea of a woman's world is men that like men are like okay to like men. But I feel like what she should have shown is you, because she created this imagery where women are doing construction, which categorically is known as a more masculine, male-driven, job, and she had women doing it. So I feel like it would have been way more like impactful if she like took something from a man, or had men involved in that, and then had those men that were involved in that kissing, because it's like that's a woman's world, is that like these whole gender norms, this whole gender idea isn't a thing. I mean, if that's a
Right.
woman's world, that's a world I would like to live in. But I mean, a woman's world is just two men wearing short shorts and tank tops that are obviously like they're vibrant. So like just
Yeah,
pushing
I
the
noticed that
narrative,
too.
you know what I'm saying? And it's like, girl, that if you did this in
Yeah.
2000, we would be having a whole different conversation. But this is 2024, girl. Men kissing out in the street is not, oh my God, I'm clutching my pearls. Like, girl, we're
Yes,
over that, babe.
right.
You're right. We're not, baby,
Yeah.
sweetheart. No.
I will say that I'm kind of like rewatching it right now as we're
Mm-hmm.
talking because
Mm-hmm.
this video is not, it's just not lining up with the story, with the narrative. And I had
Yeah.
to scroll down because I'm looking at the creative direction, the creative director. So it makes me wonder, was this all Katy Perry's idea? Was this
No.
all her idea? Because now we
No.
get to start going into the behind the scenes people, the people that are behind the camera. Because oftentimes it's kind of why like I think I'm so versatile when it comes to the music that I listen to, because
Mm-hmm.
oftentimes like the music is I can set with the music resonates with me, but the music video might not even, like for example the song We Are Young. Have you ever
Mm-hmm.
seen the music video for that?
I think so.
Yeah, the music video is very strange.
Mm-hmm.
It's who's the people fun fueled by ramen, is that the name of,
Oh,
anyway
girl,
that's
don't ask me.
that's like a fueled by ramen. Okay, anyway, because I'm wearing my shirt right now that says powered by ramen. So the
Oh.
people that sing the song We Are Young featuring Janelle Monáe, it's, it does match what's going on it matches the lyrics just a little bit, but it doesn't
Mm-hmm.
necessarily, it does but it doesn't, but it's still a
Mm-hmm.
great song. So the music video is like, who cares, this is a song that you're going to listen to throughout all ages. The song was made 12 years ago and it goes hard in any club setting, any birthday party, celebratory, anything that is balloons and drinks for adults. This
Mm-hmm.
song is it, right?
Mm-hmm.
So I say that because, 12 years ago, they did not list, it wasn't often and it wasn't common, but they didn't list in the description who was the creative director behind the whole idea of a music video. They might
Mm.
have put who directed it, but who
Yeah.
was the creativity, who was the creativity directed by, right?
Yeah.
Who wrote it down, who wrote the blueprint, the mood board, all that good stuff. I don't know what all is involved in creating a music video, but who is the person? So Katy Perry's music video, I decided to look into the description,
Mm-hmm.
and here recently it's been a common thing where they put the names of the people
Mm-hmm.
who were behind the cameras, who are working behind the scenes. The creative
Yeah.
director for this music video by Katy Perry, Woman's World, is Joe Mort.
Mm.
And their social media, I'm guessing, is at It's Joe Mort. I'm about
Mm.
to visit his page in a second. And then the creative direction, it says OTM at Tall Midi, TALMIDY, and then / at Albo, ALBO. So I'm going to
Mm.
visit these pages here in a second, just to see what kind of creativity they often work with, because that says a lot too. Like I
It
follow
does.
a few people who they do a lot of special effects and things like that. And one person, they showed us like a preview of one of Ice Spice music videos. I think it was Delhi, where they animated a sign or something. I don't remember off the top of my head, but things like that is what I look at. I look at who are the people that are doing that, because you know, unfortunately, I'm about to play devil's advocate here for Katy Perry. Who 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 told you that the two men kissing was a good idea? Surely that, I have to wonder, was that her idea? Was that her
Well,
first thought process?
my thing is this girl, you, it's the irony for me. You are literally having two men creatively direct a song a video for a song that's called Woman's World.
Mm.
Like, what?
Oof.
What? You think two
Yeah.
men have any vision of what a woman's world is supposed to look like?
Oh
What?
yeah. Hold on, wait.
Like
The creative
that
direction. Those might be men. I didn't think about that.
well, I mean, with someone called Mitty, and I mean, they sound like men. Maybe you can confirm that, but that sounds
About
like
to.
two men, like that are creatively directing, and it sounds like the director is a male as well. So it's like Katy Perry is a female artist that has, in some form, had some kind of creative uh, effort in creating a song called "Woman's World," and it's being directed and creatively directed by men. That's wild.
Yeah, I
That's
found him.
wild.
It's Joe Mort. He is a guy.
Sounds like a
He does not
gentleman.
post things often. He's
I would.
he's a fella.
Well, he's a
How you'll
fella.
He's a fella.
He's a fella.
Um his I would have to see other music videos done by him, but his bio does say
Mm,
VP Creative at Capital Music. Yeah, and that's what it says in the description. Creative director, in
wow.
parentheses, Capital. So I'm guessing he was the guy assigned at the time. The creative direction was some at TALMID. See, I like to do my research when it comes to stuff like this because my first thought process is if I could have done a better job than these people, I need to see
Mm,
what do they do in the first place? Like
mm-hmm.
what is your way of creating the direction for creativity? It's a guy. Yeah. The tall midi guy. It's a guy. It's a
I
fella.
mean, it's a fella. I
It's
mean,
a
do I
fella.
believe that a gentleman could like have some kind of idea? I mean, granted, that this could have been a collaborative effort. You know, they could have collaborated on a creative direction. But to me, it's like, the thing about Katy Perry that I think she misses the mark is that she does these things and she claims to be, female forward or female thinking or female oriented. And then you look at her work and it's like nothing about your work is female oriented. You have males like driving the machine behind you every step of the way. And it's like, get
Yep.
out of here, bro. Get out of here. There's nothing about what you do that's male or female oriented. All the people that are pulling the strings behind the scenes, they're all men. It's not. Now,
Yeah.
granted, I'm sure we could probably do a deep dive and we could look at every artist that claims to be female empowerment based and look at some of their work, and I'm sure there's some men behind it too. But it's like they don't put out music that's literally titled Woman's World.
Mm,
Like, what a
mm.
bold claim. What a bold name for a song that is essentially orchestrated by nothing but men. It was performed by a
Yeah.
woman. And if that is not the most juxtaposition of a situation that I've ever seen in my life, a song called Woman's World that's performed by a woman and funded, produced, directed by nothing but men. I mean, I mean, can someone please write something that's any more like ironic? I mean, it's crazy. Now, to make a more positive note, just because I feel like as a gay person I have to make the statement.
Okay.
Um, she looks great.
Yeah, she does.
She looks
I'm
really good. Her body is amazing. I mean, it looks like she might have had, I don't, one of my friends told me that I was saying it wrong, but is it buccal or is it buckle? But there's like there's a treatment that you get on your face where they suck the fat out of like this area that's like right underneath where your cheekbone is and it's right above where your jawline is, and it creates this little nice like sucked in face look that you don't have to like suck in your
um
face. I think it's buccal fat. I don't know what it's called, but there's a procedure that a lot of celebrities are getting where it's a buccal fat removal in their face, and it looks like she might have had that done as well. Now, a lot of times it doesn't look that good. It looks pretty good on her. She looks great.
yeah, and it's
So
probably because she's naturally skinny. It
she
looks
is.
like.
She's a naturally thinner. Yeah, she's a smaller framed girl. She looks good in the music video. I hate to objectify a woman, but it seems like she did that on her own. Her tits look really
Ah,
good. Her body looks really good. Her hair looks nice. I mean, the direction as far as like her look goes is great. I don't
Yeah.
know if it lends itself to a female, a woman empowerment anthem. And I could be just off base. That may not. I'm sure there could be some fans that listen to this and or watch this or whatever, and are saying, "Well, you clearly missed the direction." And if that's the case, then I absolutely missed the direction, because the name of the song is called "Woman's World." She used
Right.
female empowerment visualization in the video. If I missed it, I think the whole world missed it, because I looked up some reviews and it's not well. I mean, the video itself is doing well. It's got 6.9
Mm-hmm.
videos, or 6.9 views, 6.9 million views in 3 days. That's good, considering she hasn't put out anything new. Well, she put out like a single a year ago, but outside of that, she's not put out a leading single for a new album in like Smile was what, 3 years ago? So, I mean, sure, but I don't know. The video, for me, if I was gonna rate it a 1 out of 10, I'm gonna rate it a 3. I'm gonna rate it a
Ooh.
3. And I hate
Okay.
that, because I think out of a lot of artists, because I mean, some mainstream artists, let's name them. We have Lady Gaga, you have Katy Perry, Rihanna, Beyonce, Nicki Minaj. I guess now we can put Megan Thee Stallion in that. I mean, we have some of these hard hitting women who have been in the industry. Well, let's take Megan out of that. Let's leave it to like Ariana Grande, Katy Perry, Lady Gaga, Beyonce, Rihanna. Some of these women who've been putting out music videos and doing good art for years. I would consider Katy Perry a top, amongst some of those really, really good people who put out really, really good music videos, do really, really good art directions. This to me is a miss. It's a
Yeah,
miss. I
especially
don't
to
think.
me, the end. The end is really what did it for me.
I'm Katy Perry.
Yeah, I don't see what the
Girl,
purpose of that is. I don't understand it. Who told her that that was okay? Who put that in post production? Who didn't cut that out?
Yeah, my thing is, why
I'm
were they saying, "Who
genuinely,
are you?" Like, girl, we know you've been in the game for like 12 years, girl. Longer than
yeah,
12 years. You've been in the game for almost 20 years. Sweetheart, we know who you are.
that's kind of a bother to me. But I did look up everybody, and just to reiterate that they're all men. All of
They're all
the
men.
they're
They're all
all
men.
of the creative directors that are tagged into the description of the music video on YouTube. They're all men. They're all
They're all men.
fellas. So
They're
that
all
does put a
fellas.
lot of that puts a lot of questions up as well. I don't. I
Mm-hmm.
personally,
We should do an episode where we go behind like Lady Gaga, we go behind like Madonna, we go behind like Beyonce, Rihanna, some of these like really, big names, these icons that make claims at times that they're very female empowerment based, and see if they
mhm,
use, because I know one of the things that made Beyonce stand out is that she uses all female dancers. She
yeah,
uses all female band members, and that's one of the things that made her claim substantial. But I think in look, let me tell you something.
oh
I'm
boy,
a Beyonce fan. Okay, I don't need y'all coming for me. Okay, I'm a Beyonce fan. We're just doing the work. Okay, that nobody else does.
hmm
That's what we're doing here. We ain't trying
and I
to,
like to do that.
we're not trying to substantiate any claims here. Well, granted, we just did that with Katy Perry, but that's different. Like I said, she made a song called "Woman's World." That
Yeah,
we're gonna have to substantiate them claims. Okay, period. But I think it'd be just
I have
really
lots of
interesting.
questions. That's the
Yeah,
problem. I have too many
yeah,
questions. And when you
yeah.
create a music video, there should be some I want to say
Where's the perspective? Is a
there should
song
be
called
I
"Woman's
should feel
World"?
drawn. Yeah, if the song is called Woman's World, I should feel drawn. I should feel pulled to play this loud in my car. I don't
Yeah.
After watching the video, I'm glad that I haven't downloaded it yet on my phone. And
I
it's
mean,
crazy
I
because
like
again,
the line. It's a woman's world. You're lucky to be living in it. I like that line. That's a good
I
line.
don't. I don't care.
I love that. If I mean,
It's just
it's a woman's world. You're lucky to be living in it. I love that. That is female empowerment. But when you're saying it's a woman's world, you're lucky to be living in it, and your nipple is in my eyeball. Well, sweetheart. Okay.
mm,
Well, you lost me, because
it's a
I'm not.
sweetheart for
Am I
me.
lucky to be living in it? Because I don't want tits in my face, and maybe that's because I'm
Yeah,
a
and
gay
I don't
man.
like
But
I don't like
Don't.
that there's not a lot of different colored women in it either. If this is a woman's world, then show every type of woman that exists.
Big women,
That's where
small
I'm.
women, women with disabilities, women with skin disorders. Like, if it's a woman's world, what woman should not? There shouldn't be a single woman that feels excluded.
She should have put like oh, what is her name? Is it Angel Reese, the
Yeah,
basketball
the
player?
basketball player. Yeah,
She
injuries.
should have put her
And
in. She should
honestly,
have
I
put
was
her
waiting
in
for
it.
that. I was waiting for these like huge, iconic women to be in the. I was waiting for it, and I was like, I mean,
Yeah.
the easiest one would have been Caitlin Clark, a white
Yes.
woman that's I mean, making waves in the female basketball world. I was waiting for Caitlin Clark to make a move, and I never saw it. And I was like, what a missed opportunity. But you want to know why that was a missed opportunity?
Because you had males directing it.
Thank you. Thank you. Mike, drop. Because you got men that are directing it. If you had a woman's perspective on a song called Woman's World, they would have pushed for Angel Reese's. They would have pushed for the Caitlin Clarks. They would have pushed for the Serena Williams. They would have pushed for the Beyonces. They would have pushed for the other iconic women that are doing huge things. They would have pushed for the
Tiana Taylor.
Kamala Harris. They would have pushed for the Tiana Taylors. They would have pushed for the people that are making huge moves in the world today. And well, but that's just not the woman's world that Katy Perry's living in. So,
well, her reality is not our reality. And on that note,
the woman's world she's living in is directed by men. So,
well, holy. And we touched, and if you guys did not listen to the previous episode, we did touch on like some conversations about Dr. Luke and her relationship with him and how she announced that she's working with him. So if you do get some time, go back, re-listen to that, because I don't feel like touching on it. It makes I did some deep, what they call it, deep sea diving into that topic, and my stomach turned and I just couldn't read it anymore. Just because as a woman who was abused, things like that, me, I don't want to say that I was triggered, but I was somewhat
you felt some kind of way.
I did. My emotions immediately locked up, and my eyes did not want to read anymore regarding Katy Perry and Dr. Luke. So on that note, I think we're going to slide to the right.
Refer to our last episode if you want to know about that. We did touch on that. But moving forward, we're going to give Katy Perry a moment, because I think after this podcast, she's going to need to catch a breath. Mainly one that's given to her by a man. So we're going to... move on.
The shade is real.
I'm sorry.
We're going to be on the shade room the way you shading.
She could have named that song anything else, and I'm going to say this and I'm going to leave it alone. She could have named that song anything else, and my perspective on it would have been different. But you cannot name a song "Woman's World," and I look at the credits of the video, look at the credits of the song, and it's nothing but men. Girl, get out of here. Get out of here. Bye. Get out of here. Bye. All right, moving on. Speaking of men, we got one man that we're going to talk about, and this is going to be a controversial topic, and we're gonna try and keep it very unbiased and keep it very just middle of the way, middle of the fence, not swaying one way or another. We at this point we're just reporting the news, okay? We just want to make sure that we're offering some perspectives on some current events, and the most current event that I think is on everyone's mind. So we're going to discuss the situation. This is the most current event that is. It happened literally yesterday. I know it's on everyone's TikTok. It's on everyone's Twitter. We're going to discuss it here today, and we're not going to be choosing sides here. This is not going to turn into one of those political podcasts, but we are going to discuss political current events. With that being said, the most political current event that has happened is the assassination attempt on former President Donald Trump. So, for those who don't know, and if you don't know, honey, I'm giving you the bombastic side eye because everyone knows. There was an assassination attempt on former President Donald Trump yesterday. And for those who are tuning in, this is July 14th, so this happened on July 13th. He was at a rally, I believe it was Pennsylvania.
Butler, Pennsylvania. Yep.
It was Pennsylvania. And during his rally, and if the news source that I got my information from, the rally had just started, shortly before this happened. But during the rally, there were some popping sounds that sounded like gunshots. And during that time, former President Donald Trump had gotten grazed on his ear. And then there was found to be a a shooter that was also, I guess, I don't know the proper term, but he was
Yeah.
unalived. And there was actually
Neutralized, I think it's what they would say.
neutralized. That's a good.
Yeah.
He was neutralized. And there were some rally goers that were injured, and there was also, I heard of one. There might have been two, but there were some rally goers that were killed during the assassination attempt. So we're talking about this just because I think it's really important to have a conversation about current events without it being political. We're going to do
Absolutely.
that. One of the reasons why we're having this conversation is because there has been a lot of speculation on the internet. Let me reiterate. There has been a lot of speculation on the internet. Okay?
Yes.
Not from Miss Nelly Drayton or myself. This is from the internet. There's been a lot of speculation that this assassination attempt was a hoax. Some people believe that the Secret Service reacted too slowly. There was also a report that I just saw from my host, Nelly Drayton, that there was also some claims, some statements that were made to Secret Service from rally goers that there was someone who was, suspicious, or there was someone who alerted the police and the Secret Service of a suspicious man on a roof with a gun. Now, I said this wasn't going to be political, and I'm going to try and not make it political. The thing about this whole thing is when it comes to former President Donald Trump, there's just a lot of sensationalism that is wrapped around anything that involves him. And for those who are like, sensationalism, well, Drew, I need you to kind of, make that make sense for me. So here's a man that is fascinating because one day we just heard about Donald Trump and he was rich, right? That's a lot of people's reality, is that one day a really, really rich man became famous and known by a lot of people. So there's a lot of sensationalism that goes around that. This is also someone who has engaged in celebrityism, because we all know Donald Trump as the man who was a part of the show that, what was the name of the show?
What show? Scandal.
No, The Apprentice.
Oh.
We all know Donald Trump from The Apprentice, which is a show about people being Donald Trump's apprentice and being business moguls or whatever. So Donald Trump has found himself enraptured in celebrityism. So when you have someone who's enraptured in celebrityism and then they find themselves in the political field, there's a lot of conversation that occurs, whether it's good, bad, negative, positive, doesn't matter. There's a lot of conversation that happens. And so Donald Trump, former President Donald Trump, has always been enraptured in controversy and conversation. And so when you have these situations where something has happened and it involves former President Donald Trump, it's hard to look at facts, because it's like these are coming from eyewitnesses, but these are also coming from people who don't believe that January 6th was an act of violence and was a criminal act. And so it's like, what do you do with that? What do you do? There's people who believe that what happened on January 6th, the insurrection, was just an act of patriotism, while there's another side of people who are like, that's just criminal behavior. They endangered people that are supposed to be making decisions that progress our country. And it's like, I don't know, I'm not really trying to get political here, but it's hard to hear a person that I'm assuming supports Donald Trump saying that they were an eyewitness to reporting something to a Secret Service member and take that as, and validate that. Like, how am I supposed to do that?
Yeah, what I don't like about the whole entire incident is, the incident is that this is on camera. This is on a news reporter is speaking to a witness, and he is saying, I mention this to Secret Service and the authorities that there's somebody who is suspicious and no one did anything about it. I have lots of questions. I'm genuinely concerned. Well, what about the next couple of rallies that he's going to be participating in?
Right.
Do we have any security that's going to, any upgrade in the security system so that he is not injured again? What is the measures that are going to be taken? Why didn't anybody say anything? I have questions.
Well, and that's the reason why people are thinking that this is a hoax, because they're like, because how is, in no world would a Secret Service member be given information to be like, well, that's just not true. Irregardless if it wasn't, there's measures that's their job, is to take any kind of potential. They will go to someone's home that tweet, I'm going to, well, I maybe shouldn't say it, but they would make a threat towards a president, and then you'll have a Secret Service member at your door the next day. So it's like, how is that going to happen? But someone tells a Secret Service member that there's a gunman on top of a building across from a former president who's also running for current president. How would they not take that serious when they would show at someone's door for a tweet? So I think that's why people are like, this is a hoax, because how in the world would this happen and him not be protected when he's already been a president before? You know?
Yeah, it's very concerning. I will say CNN, what is their names? Jeremy Herb and Dankin, pronouncing these wrong. Dankin, I don't know how to say his last name. I'm not even going to try it because I'm going to butcher it. CNN article that was posted actually today. Is today the 14th? Today is the 14th at 9 o'clock. It says former President Donald Trump's rally speech in Butler, Pennsylvania, Saturday evening began just as it had at dozens of rallies previously. His attendees chanted USA, USA, and Trump clapped and pointed to the two faces in the crowd before taking the something. About 150 yards to the north of the former president, a gunman was climbing onto the roof of a building outside the rally security perimeter. He had an AR-style weapon with him. What? Sorry. He had an AR-style weapon with him 6 minutes into the former president's speech. 6 minutes. What? Sorry, I need to stop screaming. I apologize to the listeners, audio listeners. I hope that the mic did not, bust an eardrum. I'm just a little disappointed here. 6 minutes into the speech? 6 minutes? What are the protocols for getting people from the lines to entering? I've never been to a rally. So what are the protocols? What's put in place for people to make it from their vehicles to the inside of the stadium, the inside of wherever the rallies are set, so that they are going through security, they're getting wanded? What is the protocols? People are just able to walk from their vehicle to the rally? Like, I don't understand that. So anyway, 6 minutes into the former president's speech, the gunman took aim at Trump and squeezed the trigger. What happened next was as miraculous as it was historic. The gunman, later identified by the FBI as 20-year-old Thomas Matthew Crooks, fired multiple shots, including one that Trump said skimmed his ear. Trump ducked to the ground. 5 Secret Service agents rushed to the stage and covered the former president as the pop from another 2 additional bursts of gunfire rang out across the Butler Farm show grounds. At least 3 rally attendants were shot, one of whom was killed. Yeah. So again, security.
Let's say God bless the people that survived, because at the end of the day, let's just be humans here, okay? At the end of the day, people got hurt here.
That's right.
Someone got hurt fatally and didn't make it. So at the end of the day, let's just have some sympathy for that. Someone got hurt, people got hurt, and someone did not survive the situation. Okay, that's terrible. That should never happen, regardless of who you think it's going towards, or who you believe in, or who you want to support. It doesn't matter. People got hurt during the situation, and that's not okay. Secondly, sorry, you were going to say something?
No, I was about to sneeze. Go ahead.
Secondly, I don't care. I know everyone, thinks that Donald Trump is like Delulu and wackadoodle, and you know what? Whatever. Here's where I'm having a problem. I have never, and I'll be transparent here on the podcast, okay? I have never been shot at. Hard to believe, I know. I like to hang around the hood.
Oh my
I ain't never been shot
gosh.
at. I can tell you right now, with all confidence, that if I ever were to get shot at and grazed by a weapon of some sort, the last thing I'm going to do is throw my fist in the air and say, fight, fight, fight. Honey, the
Yeah, let's get to
optimism that I
that
would
part.
have about whatever's happening is gone. Get me in the car. We got to go. Goodbye.
Yeah,
I don't care. You can call yourself a patriot. I don't care. This man almost died, and you're telling me that he has the nerve to throw his fist in the air and say fight, fight, fight after getting grazed in the air by a bullet that was supposed to go through his brain. Like,
yeah,
what? What freaking lunatic can get almost murdered in front of hundreds of people and walk away being like, "Look at me, I'm a martyr." No, sweetheart, you were almost a corpse. Like, are you crazy? Who does that? Like, and like I said, not to be political, but is that someone that you want to be as your president? Someone who almost got murdered in front of your eyes and being like, "Oh, it's cool." No, I want a human. I want a real person. I want someone to show me some freaking emotion for a change as a president. I want someone to show me that, hey, that was scary. I'm a little frazzled.
yeah,
I'll see y'all tomorrow. I'm going to go. I want to be with my family. I've got kids. I've got a
yeah.
wife. I've got, a business. The things that I care about. And you're telling me that you get grazed in the ear by a bullet that was supposed to go through your brain, and you have the nerve to, like, girl, goodbye.
Yeah, that's
Goodbye.
definitely
That's
questionable.
crazy.
Again, there's so many questions just because
Crazy.
it's not a walk in the park. It's not an everyday experience. People, I
No.
don't think no one has really. I don't think it has really set in yet, unless you've actually been in that type of situation before, where you've had to give a fight or flight response. I
Yeah.
don't know. I've been in survival mode like most of my life.
Yeah.
So to see a lot of photos of him circulating on the internet of him putting his fist up after getting shot at, like my stomach dropped, because I'm thinking to myself, what could possibly be important right now besides your
Right.
life? What could
Your
be more
life.
important?
And to me, it's like, I'm sure for a lot of people that was a really moving gesture for them, that someone almost lost their life and they're so patriotic that they want to be with these people who support them. But to me, it's like, I don't see
No.
it that way. And I guess, we can agree to disagree. We can have difference of opinions. That's fine. But that's
Hmm.
not someone that I want as a president. And it's not because it's just, and this is me. I'm speaking on me. This is not political. This is just strictly me being me. Okay. I would love to see someone that's human. I would love to see someone that I can relate to. That's not anything that I can relate to. I can't.
No.
And for the sake of argument, I'm not sitting here saying that I can relate to Joe Biden either. President Biden. I can't say I can relate to that.
Oh
Because the
yeah, I
man
recently
is like,
saw.
God bless, he's like freaking brain dead. God
Yeah,
bless the man. No shade. This is not to be shady or anything, but that man is, he mentally, psychologically, that man is not fit to be.
yeah. I recently did you see the video of him saying Vice President Trump, how he elected or
Yeah,
he
I think,
or however he
yeah,
verbalized it,
yeah.
but he said Vice President Trump and not Vice President, Harris.
I think
I was like,
I
I
did see
was
that
like,
video. I think what he was trying to do was make an impactful statement, because I think what he was trying to say is that if we elect Donald Trump as president, he's going to be vice president, and the real president's going to be Putin. I
oh
think that's what
wow.
I think that's what he was
But
trying to
somebody,
say.
but well, somebody, one of the what are they called? The people that are in that room and they ask questions after president makes a statement or
Mm-hmm. A
whatever. I
reporter,
forgot
I
what those people.
guess.
I guess they're reporters. Well, someone
Yeah.
stood up and was like, "Well, you just said that Vice President Trump. Did you mean Harris?" And so
Yeah.
I guess I gotta watch it in its entirety now, because now
Yeah.
my brain is like
I
my
haven't
brain's
watched.
all over the place.
I seen a clip of the video, but I also saw a headline that like not a headline, but I've seen like a piece of an article that was like, he said that he called Donald Trump vice president, but he called President Vladimir Putin. And so I just piecing that together, I think that's what the impact was supposed to be, that if we elect Donald Trump, he won't be actually running the country. Who would be running the country would be Russia. I think that's
Right.
what the impact of what the statement was supposed to be. But because that man's mental has deteriorated so much, I don't think that he executed it like impactfully. And that's the part that's like really rough, because it's like this man just his mental is like gone. It's gone.
Okay, so
You know?
rewind for like a split second.
Yeah.
President Joseph Biden was already in the political realm for over several decades. He has transitioned to a higher role, right, as president. But before that, he already served 8 years
as a vice president.
Correct? As a vice president.
Yeah, he was
What?
Barack Obama's vice president.
So this man is tired.
Oh, girl.
It's very evident that man is tired.
Girl.
I see him sometimes when he's talking, and I'm like,
but
what?
4 years ago, girl, he was stout. 4 years ago, he gave me hope, honey. I was like, yes, come on, old man Biden. I was down for it.
But that's because he's been the president. That's why. You said that off camera.
It wrecks a person, girl. It ruins a person. But you want to know what's so crazy is, like, Bernie Sanders has been a like front runner for like the independents for so long. People have been. There's been so many people that have really, really wanted Bernie Sanders to actually be a candidate for presidency. But it's like, if Joe Biden has not shown us anything, is Joe Biden has shown us that you can be at the top of your game at 75. But sweetheart, that 4 years of presidency will destroy that mess. And Bernie Sanders, he is a brilliant man. He is a very, very brilliant, intelligent man. Unfortunately, he is too radical. He is way too radical, and this country will never, probably not in my time or your time, this country will never vote for someone as radical as Bernie Sanders, unfortunately. But if that man were to ever be elected president, we have learned something from Joe Biden. You can have the mental gymnastics that it takes to be president will ruin that mental girl, because that man, Joe Biden, I actually feel like terrible. You know, because I'm not going to discuss any of that, but I feel awful for that man, because it's like, you know, he's going to live outside of his presidency. You know, he's not going nowhere. He might be around for another 10 years.
He's going to live, but he's going to be
the way his life is going to go from this point forward is never going to be the same. And I don't know if that's because of the presidency. I don't know if this could have happened whether he was elected president or not. I don't know. But what I know now is that person is our current president. And I don't care what anyone says or what anyone believes. The fact that that man who did that debate is our president is a little scary.
Well, let's give him his round of applause and his flowers for 12 years in his 12 years.
His collective 12 years of political service that he has done
back to back.
As far as, well, he got a break.
When did he get a break?
When that's
right. When Trump was elected, yeah. So you know how I tried not to completely wipe it from my memory. I will say that the only reason why I forgot that was a thing, because it was very traumatic to be a Black woman during those times. It was very, very traumatic.
America.
There was a lot of things that were very surprising. I couldn't understand it, and it scared me a little bit, because
it was scary. I'm not an
argumentative person. I'm not a drama-filled type of person. When I walk into a store, when I walk into a grocery store, restaurant, or anything like that, I have no automatic what's the word I'm looking for? I don't feel the need to be immediately like aggressive or protective.
Yeah.
I don't try to come off as anything except I'm hungry, or I'm at a store. I got to get stuff for me and my kid, and that's pretty much it. Then I got stuff I got to do when I get home. But I will say that during the pandemic, sometimes during former President Trump's his chair in office, I don't know, man. I was scared
No,
because there were too many
know what?
times.
I was just thinking. I was like, thank God that we had a pandemic during his presidency.
Yeah.
Thank God, because he had no choice but to put all of his ducks in that basket, all his eggs in that basket. You know, what if he had the time to do other things? So, like, low key, like, thank God we had a pandemic during his presidency, because if not, there's no telling what could have happened. Granted, now, I don't have to go too political. And
yeah, let's
no
go ahead and
shade.
bring it down.
Yeah, no shade. But, I mean, the only thing that I think Donald Trump could have done for the country was maybe improve the economy. I think that is one thing that could have happened. If there was not a pandemic, I think our economy would be a little bit better. I agree with that. But that is not a president makes. You know, you can't consider a whole nomination for a presidency based off the fact that maybe they could improve the economy. We have so many issues in this country that we need to deal with that you cannot base you can if you want to, but for me, I will not base who I vote for based off the fact that maybe they can make my rent a little cheaper, because at the end of the day, and I'm going to stop here,
have to pay for that.
Somebody's going to have to pay for it, and at the end of the day, when it comes to a lot of these presidential nominees, they are lining the pockets of the people whose pockets are already lined.
There we go.
They're not worrying about the folks out here who had to sleep on benches. They're not worried about these folks who have way too many children and not enough money to feed the mouths. They're not worried about that. And we can get into that. That's a whole other thing, but we're not going to do that today. But what I'm saying is here's what I'm going to say. And I'm going to be done with this because, we already had an off podcast conversation. And I know you probably were like even nervous about having this conversation on here, but I think I kept it pretty good. I'm going to say this, okay? Today is July 14th. We have a huge, huge, huge decision to make in November, okay? We only have a few months away to make a very, very big decision. And for those who think that your vote doesn't matter, voting is important. You don't have to agree with the system of politics. You don't have to agree with Democrats, Republicans, independents, whatever. It doesn't matter. I don't care if you vote for your friend down the street to be president.
Not your friend down the street.
Okay, homegirl down the street. I want to see everyone that I know, and I'm going to hold people to it. I want you to do your research. I want you to make an informed decision. Don't just vote for who you think your mom's going to be okay with or who your family thinks is the best for the country. Do your research, do the work, and you go to those ballots and you vote. Don't vote for your mom. Don't vote for your brother. Don't vote for your dog. You vote for you. Who do you want to see as president? And that's it. That's all I got to say about it. And I'm going to be done on it. That's it.
And on that note, I want to wrap up that short, long but short segment to, hopefully everything that is supposed to happen the way it's happening happens rightfully so. That's really all I can. No, I take that back. I'm sorry. That was so short and low-key kind of like a smack to the face if you really understood what I was saying. But how do you say her name?
Melania.
Melania. It doesn't look like that's how it's pronounced. That's why I struggle. So don't come for me. Come for your mommy. She did write. She released a letter to the American people, her fellow Americans, regarding what happened. If you follow her on Twitter, you can see it there. I'm pretty sure that there's a government official website that it's released on as well. But I am sad for those that were affected by what happened. Hopefully after what has happened and the people that were there to be there in support of Trump and be there in support of what matters to them and their legal rights. I hope that those that are affected get some form of, I don't even want to say compensation, but
healing, just healing,
something from being a part of something like that. Something like
Yeah.
that happened, and this assassination attempt happened. And I personally feel like everybody at that rally deserves to get something because it three people,
Therapy, you know.
you know what I mean? What like how many people got shot at? Hold on,
I
let me
think
go
there
back
was
to it.
like 2 or 3 that were injured. There was one that was fatally wounded, and
Yeah.
then the
So there needs to be something for that.
assassin,
Three, yeah,
yeah,
3 rally attendants were shot, and one of the three was
fatally
killed.
wounded. Yeah.
So there needs to be something for that.
Yeah,
I'm a
you
firm
don't have to
believer
be in
in
support of whomever, but like, let's be humans here and realize that something really, really, really traumatizing happened to people that should never have been a part of that.
exactly. And what really bothers me the most is those that spoke up, trying to prevent it from happening. I want to
Yeah.
send, positive energy to those people as well, because to me, if I was a part of that rally and I'm like, hey, something seems off, and I'm saying something to people that have the authority to change the trajectory of what's going to happen and nothing is done, immediately my faith is now shaken. Immediately my mindset is now questioning everything that I thought was right.
Yeah.
To me, I don't even want to, I could dive into that, because I'm a person that wants to understand a lot of things. All right,
Yeah.
being understanding overall is what's going to get you far in life.
Mhm.
And if you're understanding to the fact that someone spoke and nothing happened, now we have more questions. Now, what about that guy that was on the news outlet talking to the reporter about how he said something to authorities and nothing happened? Why did nothing happen? Why, when he said something, like, is anyone going to give for what has been taken? I feel like my peace of mind would have been immediately like it would have been rattled.
Yeah.
How am I supposed to come to another rally? How am I supposed to support what if this is something that happens moving forward at other political candidates? What am I supposed to do? You know what I mean? Like, I understand that some people may love Trump, some people may not love Trump. Some people don't like Biden. Some people like Biden. Some people love him. Some people like him, love him, want more of him, whatever the case may be. Now I'm immediately shaken up. I don't want to go outside no more. This is giving pandemic all over again. I don't want to go outside because it's 2024 and assassination attempts are happening, whether it was real or not. And if it wasn't real, shame on them. And if it was, shame on them. Shame on whoever. Like, what is going on?
This is a tragedy, I mean, imagine if Donald Trump did get assassinated. Like, what kind of conversation would be happening then, Like, I know there's been a lot of, like, discourse on the internet about, people being like I said, let me reiterate, this is discourse that's happening on the internet. This is not my views. This is not my opinion. But I know on the internet, a lot of people were discussing how... I hate to say it, but this is what's happening on the internet. People are upset that Donald Trump did not get assassinated. People are upset that this person missed. That's what they're saying, is that this person missed.
Oh yeah, I meant to mention that as well. There was at 7:29 p.m. yesterday, the trending topics on Twitter were President Trump, they missed, staged, how do you miss, and fight, fight, fight. Those topics were trending all day, every day. 50 Tyson on Twitter.
At the end of the day, like, whatever conversations I have off the podcast or the conversations I have with the podcast, and more than likely are not going to be like 100%, genuine. At the end of the day, whatever my political views may be, which I will not be discussing on this podcast, I don't want to see anyone get hurt, because I don't think that it has to resort to that, because I think, to me, that is defeating the purpose of what democracy and patriotism is all about. Like, at the end of the day, everyone is supposed to have an opinion. Everyone is supposed to be able to believe in what they believe in, and it's supposed to be respected. And I know in my past, I'm sure there might be some people who watch this podcast and be like, that's rich coming from you, considering back in 2016 you felt this way or did that way. You know what? That's 2016 me. That's not 2024 me. If you hold me to the actions of 2016 me, I feel sorry for you. But with that being said, I don't want anyone to get hurt. That's not what this is all about. That's not the purpose of all of this. The purpose of all of this is supposed to be, everyone's voice is supposed to be heard. And how can we hear someone's voice if people are out here trying to eliminate that? That's not okay. And like I said, irregardless of my political views, nobody That man has children. That man has children. That man has a family. And you don't have to agree. You don't have to believe. But that does not mean that you have the right to eliminate. That's not
Right.
okay by
You
me.
don't get to be judge, jury, and
An
executioner.
executioner.
That's the
Absolutely
problem
not.
that's the problem that that's my get up on the whole entire situation. The shooter, it has been I want to say it's been broadcast on several streaming platforms or radio platforms that the shooter was killed. Unfortunately, I don't like that he was a young person either. I don't care who he supports. That's a young life that's taken, attempting to take someone else's life because he thought that he could be judge, jury, and executioner. So with all that being said, my condolences to those that were involved and had to deal with the repercussions of somebody else's actions because they thought that they, could basically play God.
Yeah.
And I feel for those, again, who were there and present for the situation and spoke up and nothing was done. And I feel for those that are connected to the people that were hurt. My heart goes out to you. And on that note, that's all I got to say about that.
I got one last thing to say.
One last thing, and then we can move on to Jonathan Majors, because that's something that I wanted to touch on.
Okay. One last thing, and I'm going to be done with the politics, okay?
One last thing.
If this does not reiterate to some people that we have got to do something about gun control, the irony involved in the situation, like I said with the whole Katy Perry thing, you cannot write this mess. You know what I'm saying? We have got to figure something out with this gun control, and that's what I'm going to say. And you can determine what side of the fence I fall on based off that. That's fine, but that's it. We got to figure something out about that, period.
That we do. Period. A lot of things need to be mixed up and figured out and separated and baked and cut and sliced and diced. Don't ask me where I was going with that. I was thinking about cookies immediately because
she got hungry.
Whenever I get emotional and I think about humanity as a whole, I get very emotional very fast and I get hungry because that's just the way the woman's world works over here. Now, Jonathan Majors. Whoop, whoop. Do we even want to talk about Jonathan Majors? I don't want to talk about Jonathan Majors. I immediately switched it up. All I can say about
go ahead.
All I can say about Jonathan Majors is that there was a lot of things trending about him on Twitter, and I don't know. I genuinely don't know why. I think there's just been some conversations about how he looks awkward around Megan Good, and that's pretty much it. Or like. There was a conversation where somebody was, I think it was an interviewer, a reporter, or something along the lines of that. They were talking to Megan Good and Jonathan Majors, and they were saying like, "Oh, Megan, you look wonderful, you look great." And then she was like, "Well," and then she looked up at Jonathan Majors, and you all can look for this interview and quote it yourself. But what I was getting from it was, when he looked at her, he's like, I try to keep up with Megan Good. And she's like, oh, but the way she leaned her chin in and reacted to the compliment and trying to pull him in on the conversation. A lot of people said some things about him and how he just he doesn't make her look good. And when you're with a man, when you have a significant other, you're supposed to compliment each other. That's the only thing that made me want to talk about it, because I was wondering, like, what is it? I genuinely, like, if we had a live audience, I would want other people to try to help me to understand, because I genuinely don't see anything wrong with his behavior. Now, of course, there's more to him than what I saw in that video, and that's where people will be able to tell me, oh, Nelly, did you know that before Megan Good, he was dating a woman and she was white, and there was a lot of slavery type of conversations or
I think you've done your research. That's literally what happened.
No, that's what I know. I promise I did not. That's like the first sentence.
No, that's actually exactly what.
Oh,
happened.
Wow. Well, so, I don't know if I want to go any further. We got a few minutes, but let's try to keep it short, sweet, to the point.
The whole Jonathan Major thing was that, for those who don't know, Jonathan Major, he recently became a part of the whole Marvel Universe, I believe. I'm not exactly sure what part of the Marvel Universe he was a part of, but he did. And he also recently got involved in a very lascivious court involvement because I guess, there was a domestic violence charge against him and his former partner. I'm not sure if it was
Oh.
wife, girlfriend, I don't remember. But there was a very lascivious situation involved with that. And it ultimately, I think Disney ended up like dropping his contract for his Marvel deal or something. I don't remember correctly, but ultimately he was dating a white woman, and dating that white woman, he had a lot of opinions about how she was representing his brand and how she needed to be more like a strong Black woman. And to me, it's like, if you wanted a strong Black woman, you should have gotten a strong Black woman, but you didn't. You got a white woman that likes Black men. And I think a lot of the community on X, formerly known as Twitter, obviously ate him up because, sir, you're a part of what some people would consider a problem with our community, which is not. I'm not going there. No, I'm not going to say that.
Yeah.
You know
I felt it.
Yeah,
I felt
you know what I'm
it.
saying. So people were just upset because they were like, if you want a Black woman, get you one. Don't try to create a Black woman out of a white woman, because at the end of the day, you already know that it doesn't matter what she says, what she does. People are going to like destroy her on social media, because that's a constant. That's a tale as old as time, that people get upset with cultural appropriation, and you're encouraging it. And it's like, you're supposed to be responsible for situations like that, and here you are like creating that situation. So it's like, I think that's when people were like, well, there's a potential that whatever accusations are being made are probably true, because here you are like perpetuating this like standard for this woman that you 100% should know like is not going to work. It's not going to work.
Yeah.
And then ever since then, I mean, people have just really not been giving this man the time of day. I mean, I think he's still acting. I think he's still working. And then he's with Megan Good, which I think, if I'm not mistaken, there was a quote saying that this was like the woman of his dreams. This is the woman that he wanted his former partner to emulate. And it's like, people even came for Megan Good, because they were like, sweetheart, like, did you not see what he did to this woman? Did you not see what he has done to women? I guess he has like a history.
Uh-oh.
I don't know, girl. At the end of the day, the whole thing's a mess. Oh wait, you know what? He was in Creed 2 or Creed 3,
Yes.
that last Creed movie, wasn't he?
Yes, and that's what is. That's
really
what
good in that movie. I'm gonna say
has
that.
me.
Pretty good.
That's what has me a little. What? Ooh.
He did pretty good. I'm not gonna lie. He kind of ate that roll up. It was pretty good.
Well.
Sorry.
I will say that the only thing that I know, besides all of what you've shared, all that I know is that people are saying that he just does not look good with Megan Good. Ooh, did not mean to make that rhyme.
Ooh, okay, bar.
But he just doesn't look good with her, just because of his face expressions. Like, if the conversation is not about him, he can't handle it. And then other conversations were, well, can you imagine? Well, even if that's the opinion formed, what about the fact that he recently went through like a lot of changes, and they were not good changes, they were negative changes and all that good stuff, and his image has been torn apart because of his behavior and things like that. So now he is trying to, I guess, revamp himself, and he's with a woman who's beautiful and all that. So people are ultimately like trying to. There's like two sides of the conversation. That's why I said I don't know, but I have an idea, because they're making fun of the way he dances, and they're saying like he danced like them.
Where's he dancing like at? Where people have that opinion? What's he doing dancing? Is he on Dancing with the Stars?
Well, they said that the music. I don't know. It was just like a party, I guess, and they were saying that the way he. People recorded it. Someone recorded it and posted it, and since then, I don't know,
honey.
I don't know. All I know is that they were trying to make it seem like he was dancing as if he was brought up in Harriet Tubman's time. Like, he looks like The way he was
Oh.
dancing and the way he behaved, it's giving he was cooked in the like he was bathing in the collard
No.
greens. Yeah,
No.
they were. I was like,
But
that's a lot
like
of.
that.
Why? I
Oh,
don't know why. I don't
Jesus.
understand why. Does
I
he really
don't.
talk like? I have to sit and listen to him
I
talk and look at what he has specifically verbalized and read it for
don't.
myself to get the context because
Oh,
I
I
didn't know
don't
that it was
know.
that bad. I just didn't.
Well, and
Unplugged
I
over
think
here.
that's where I know, bless your heart. I think I think that's where a lot of discourse was happening on X, Twitter, whatever you want to call it. I don't know. I think that's why
Speaking
there's a
of
lot.
X Twitter,
Oh,
what's his name? Elon Musk just put out a survey, not just now, but here recently he did a survey saying, do you all want to change X back to Twitter or keep it as X? And if you
Twitter.
want it, if you want to keep it back as X, I'll follow you
No,
or
X
something like that.
sounds. Oh, he's gonna follow them. He's gonna like block them or like cancel their accounts.
Oh
We all
God.
know Elon Musk at this point. Okay, we know what he's gonna do.
Listen.
He eliminates his competition. He ain't gonna cooperate with them. So don't like that tweet because he's definitely gonna block you or whatever. But I think that's why there was a lot of discourse on like X, Twitter, or whatever. Because I mean, the man seems like he's a part of the culture, and then he shows up with a hate if this sounds offensive, but he shows up with a white woman, and then it
Oh,
comes out that he like wants his white woman to like assimilate to his culture, and it's like this isn't a problem. Look, your friend, this is how we know you're disconnected because, sweetheart, we don't want white women to assimilate to our culture. We're canceling white women for assimilating to our culture. You're part of the problem. You're part of the
you're part of
problem.
the
You're one of
problem.
the reasons why white women are getting canceled for having box braids, baby, because of people like
Ooh,
you.
ooh,
Like, stop doing this to these women. Stop doing
ay,
it.
ay, ay.
Let the white woman be a white woman. Quit trying to make her. Because he said that he wants her to be like Michelle Obama. He wanted her to
Oh,
be like,
I need to go watch
Megan
this.
Good. He wanted her to be like, who's married to Dwayne Wade?
Dwayne Wade, Gabrielle Union.
Gabrielle. He wanted her to be like a Gabrielle Union type. And it's like, but no, baby, she's not. She's Jill Biden. She's Melania. She's Taylor. Sweetheart,
I
she's
need to,
not these girls. She's a white woman. Let her be a white woman. You got with this white woman for being a white woman. Let her be a white woman. That was my whole problem. Like, sweetheart, let that white woman be a white woman. Okay, let her have her straight blonde hair and let her be. And he was like
is this
embarrassed
a
by
video?
her. No, it was like court documents because he was going to court.
Oh,
And
if this is in court documents
this
that
is
he
court
said these things.
documentation. Yeah, because I think there was
Oh,
text
wow.
messages. He sent this in text
Oh,
message, I believe, to his woman, and he told her like, I'm embarrassed by you. I need you to be more like a strong black woman.
oh my
And
gosh. Oh, wow.
yeah, girl, I have to
Oh,
send you the receipts. I believe I have them.
please send it to me.
I
I
think I
need the
will. I mean, I could be
context.
misspeaking, so those who are listening to this, you can sound off in the comments if I'm misspeaking.
Come on,
But
sound off.
I do. Thank you. I do believe. I do believe that this was court documentation that he had sent either emails or text messages to his significant other about wanting her to be more like strong black women. And if I'm almost 100% confident that he named Gabrielle Union as one of those women. He may have said Megan Good. I don't know. He may have said
This
Michelle
is
Obama. I'm not sure, but
scary.
I'm almost 100% certain he said Gabrielle Union. But you can fight me on whatever. I'm gonna die on this hill. I'm pretty sure he said he wanted that woman to be like a black woman. Period. And that's weird. That's
No
weird
one is
behavior.
going to, nobody needs to fight nobody on no hills.
Well,
Okay.
if you decide you want to, I will die on this one because I'm pretty sure he wanted that white woman to be a black woman. Okay, it's just my belief. I mean, I'm pretty sure I read that. I have to go look and see where I read that from, but I'm 100% certain that he wanted that woman to be black. Sorry to that woman.
Dear. Sorry to
Yeah.
them. Oh my
Sorry to that woman.
goodness.
I'm sorry that he made
Well,
you die.
I'm sorry too, and I need to look. I'm definitely gonna look more into it. I
Yeah.
wanted to talk
The whole
about him a
face
little
looking
bit.
weird or whatever. I don't know nothing about all that. I just know that he was being weird to his white woman.
It's a trendy thing on Twitter. That's all I can say about that. They have screenshotted his face and put his face in the comments
Ooh.
and went ham and decided to what's the word? Dehumanize him. They have, I don't know why, but they did, and that's none of my business. I'm gonna stick beside this mic, and he can stick beside Megan Good.
Yeah, all right now.
Other than that, that was pretty. I can't even imagine talking more about that man. Because at first, when we first talked about it a couple of days ago, it was heavy. Now as time progressed, I was like, you know what, Jonathan Majors, I wish you all the best. Please just, work on your face expressions, because I don't know. I'm not sure what people. Yeah. I'm not sure. I don't understand. But what I do know is if he's out here talking reckless to, his Caucasian ex-wife, then he needs to tighten up and be respectful of women in general. We don't have time for that. I will say, let me shout out this TikToker. Her name is Bailey Gabbert. And she gave us she recently posted TikTok, and it was the most gentle, receiving, loving compliment of Black women when they have knotless braids, or they just have braids in general. She's a white woman, and she was so sweet and so kind and so soft and so gentle about it. It wasn't like, it wasn't forced. It wasn't fake. She was genuinely like, I just love your all's hair when you do that. Like, this is really cool. I love that you guys do that. I love seeing it. I have to compliment it because it's so different. It's so unique. It's like art. And I'm like, oh my goodness. It's crazy because Black women, that is how we see our hair. We see it as art.
It's like, it's an expression of yourself. Really? It's like putting on jewelry.
I swear. Yeah. And she even talks about that. She talks about how like people have jewelry in their braids and things like that. So shout out to her. Look, this is me ending the podcast on a light note. All right, we're coming to a close here. The super light note. Shout out again to Bailey Gabbert for posting on her TikTok about Black women and their hair. Because you really, I commented on it because I was like, oh, she's so sweet. Like, why would you say that? Like, oh my God. Yeah. But my heart and mind is ultimately clear. How was yours?
I mean, I think I probably should just go ahead and shut up. I think I may have already said too much.
Oh, well, that's what I'm here for. I'm here to keep it short, sweet, and to the point as much as we can on the Nelly Drayton Show podcast, where creatives gather to kind of sort of figure it out and go beyond. Because who really has a step-by-step on how to be a creative?
Yeah, I mean, show me. I'm going to say this and I'm going to be done. Okay? And I already said it like 3 times. I'm going to say this and I'm going to be done, okay? And this is going to be, I usually do like in our podcast like some kind of inspirational message. So I'm going to do that today, okay? Let me tell you something. The relationship that you have with yourself is not a marriage, okay? You are not married to who you are today. You can change and you can mold yourself into who you want to be tomorrow. And you do not have to feel guilty about that. Okay? So who you believe in and who you see yourself as today, you do not have to feel guilt about wanting to change that person or changing that person. Okay? Who you are tomorrow is not any of your business. That's for future you to worry about. Okay? You just do your best every day. You try your best, and whoever you become, the only thing that matters is whether or not you're proud of that person, okay? Because the only person that has to sleep with and wake up and look in the mirror and face whatever happens is you. So the least you can do for yourself is attempt to be proud of that. And that's all I got to say.
I love that. That's such a positive note. I hope you guys took that pen and paper that's on your desk right there. Yep, I'm pointing to it. You can't see that I'm pointing to it, but imagine with me, if you will, because that's what creatives do here. That pen right there and that paper right to the left. Nope, on the other side. Yep, that one. Yeah, write down what he just said and put that on the mirror. Write that on your mirror if you want to. Because even though we talk about a lot of topics, go from A to Z. However, at the end of it all, this is us trying to figure out our creative lane. Yeah. And it's going to look different every day.
Could be tomorrow.
Period. And the way we started the podcast is nothing close. If you have ever went back and listened to our previous episodes and watched the few visual episodes that we have on the Nelly Drayton Show YouTube channel, you will see that we have definitely changed, and we have grown a lot, in my personal opinion. It may not seem like it to you, but to us, we've grown. Drew's proud of me. I'm proud of Drew. The relationship that we have is very, thank you. It's very unique and it's different. And that's the whole point of all of this, is you guys to see for yourself that, wow, you can start off this way and then change it. There's no reason to be tied to the old you. That's the whole point of growth and manifesting who you're becoming. So again, welcome to the Nelly Drayton Show, where creatives gather to go beyond. And here at this table, we kind of sort of try to figure it out. Make sure you guys tap into the listener support. Follow us on Spotify. Check us out on Amazon. I kept saying Prime. It's just Amazon Music. I don't. Makes me so mad when I'm listening to post and I'm in post and I'm just revamping everything. I kept saying Amazon Prime, Amazon Prime. It's Amazon Music. I have the link tree in my Instagram page, where you can just go and see where we're available to listen to. iHeartRadio. We're no longer on Google Podcasts. I think they changed something. I don't know what they changed, but I think they just completely shut that down. But iHeartRadio, Apple Podcasts, Spotify, and that's pretty much it. Other than that, I'm satisfied. Drew's satisfied. So
I'm satisfied, baby.
And on that note, I hope you guys liked it, loved it, and want more of it.
And please do. I got rent to pay.